If you get day-old chicks, you're going to need a place for them to live for the first couple weeks of their life. Since they're not fully feathered and they can't live outside, what you need is a chick brooder. Now, what is a brooder? It depends on what you make it. Here's ours. Now, this is our third rendition of a brooder, so it's pretty fancy at this point because we custom built this one for exactly what we need and what we want. After 3 different batches of raising chicks, this will be our 4th, so we wanted to make it as easy as possible for ourselves. Some key functions of this brooder are that both ends, you can see through them, so you get a nice view of the chicks. Same thing on the sides, and they have these nice sliding see-through doors, so you can reach in and handle the chicks, which is nice for making them friendly. Additionally, there's 2 doors on top with latches that allow you to open it up and get in there. Really, we wanted to be able to access the chicks from any different ways, to be able to clean out the brooder as easy as possible and spend as much time as we can with them. Now, this brooder is super secure because we have 2 of these guys in our house, and they love to hop up on top and hang out and check out the chicks. So we reinforced this with 1/4-inch hardware cloth up top for the cats to be able to lay on it, can't get to the chicks. Heavy duty hinges, 6 hinges on here so that we can swing this open, not worry about if a cat jumps on it or anything like that. It'll support that. And then when you close it all up, they have these secure spring latches so that a cat can't accidentally open it and get in there and get to the chicks. And as you can see, it's pretty difficult even for humans, but it's doable. And then the sliding doors, we also have some latches to keep those closed so the cats can't get in there. So that's the external brooder itself. The dimensions are 2 foot by 4 foot by 2 foot tall, so it's plenty of size for the amount of chicks that we're getting. We're getting 6 this time, so should be plenty of amount of space. If you're getting chicks, roughly, what I would say is, depending on how long you're going to keep them in the brooder, depends on how much space they actually need. But if you're going to keep them upwards of 6 to 8 weeks, you want somewhere between half a square foot to a square foot per bird in there. So keep that in mind. And of course, if you're keeping them in there for less amount of time, then you don't need as much space. Same thing if you get bantams versus standards, also vary in your space, but good rule of thumb, just to give them enough space so they can move around, hop around, jump around. That's why these right here, we built in roosts for them to be able to jump up and get used to the roost before they got to the coop so that they have no trouble sleeping on them. So that's our brooder itself as far as structures. And like I said before, a brooder is what you make it. So it can be as simple as a cardboard box. It could be a plastic tote. We've done that before, like this one. It could be a wooden structure like this, more secure, lots of stuff going on. But essentially all you need is just a safe place for them to be. And so if you don't have any cats or dogs or anything in your house, then like I said, it could be as simple as a cardboard box. The things that you're going to need in a brooder, and this is the most important part, is you're going to need chick food. So this is different than adult hen food because it's much smaller. It's these little tiny pieces so that the chicks can easily eat them and digest them and swallow them. Also, chick food will have a higher protein content. So you can see right here, this is what we're using. This Kalmbach, this is what we use for our big chicks as well as the big chickens as well as the chicks. You can see like the normal layer pellets, we get 17, but these chicks, they're higher in protein because they're growing, so they need it, 18%. And this is the non-medicated version. You can also get the medicated version. It's kind of personal preference there as far as what you want. We found that we don't really need the medicine or medicated. Our chicks do just fine, and so opted to not go medicated. Additionally, something you want to keep in mind is that the medicine in there will affect silky chicks where they can't absorb all the vitamins and can cause some problems with them. So if you're going to raise silkies, make sure you get the non-medicated one. And after the chick food, what you'll need is water. So that's our water right there. You can see it's a little nipple water. And now you have a choice to make between whether you're going to go nipple water or traditional water where they dip their beaks in. We go nipple or in the brooder because we have nipple waters outside. So it's much easier for chicks and chickens later to get used to one and just continue to use it. So when we've used the nipple water in here with our girls, then they go outside and they have the same thing. It's not much of a change up for them. They understand how to do it and able to drink it. We've also, in the past, gone with traditional water in the brooder, nipple outside, and it still worked fine. So it's really up to you. We just really like the nipple for this just to keep it consistent throughout their ages. And we find that you don't have to clean it as often because in a traditional water, they're going to kick all the bedding into it and then get all mucky, and you have to clean it out a couple times a day when they get bigger. So this one, it's just the nipple. It's fully enclosed, the actual water, before it goes out. This container has a nice lid you can lift up, pour the water in, more water in, and then it just comes out the nipple. Makes it super easy to not get dirty. And now the third thing you're going to need is this yellow plate right here. This is a heat plate. So you're going to need either a heat plate or a heat lamp, some sort of heat source for your chicks, because they're going to need to stay nice and toasty at 95 degrees the first week, and then it decreases by 5 degrees every week after that. But you want a nice warm place where they can snuggle together, sleep under there, and get nice and cozy. So with a heat plate, the reason we like it is it's much safer than a traditional heat lamp that puts off a lot of heat out of a bulb. What can happen is that if some dust floats up, particles float up, the bulb falls down, there's a higher chance of fire starting. So with the heat plate, it's actually really nice. It's radiant heat, so it's not hot except for when you're touching it right underneath. So even if you put your hand under it, it's a little warm, but you don't really feel the heat. What it is you feel the heat touching it underneath. So what happens is the chicks go under, they press their backs up against it, and it gets nice and toasty and falls asleep. And then when they're too warm, they just walk right out from underneath of it, come out and hang out, and then they get cold again, they go right back under it. The reason we like that is because this mimics the temperature change of a natural hen a lot better than a heat lamp. Because in a heat lamp, it's super hot in the middle, and then as you radiate out, it's less and less hot. But that's different than a natural hen, because what happens is the chicks go under there, it's hot. The second that they leave the body heat of the hen, it's cool. Same thing with this heat plate. When they're under there, it's warm. The second that they go out, it's cold. And what it does is it's more natural for them, but we've also found that it helps them feather out faster because they're getting used to heat and no heat all the time versus a heat lamp where they're getting used to heat and then less heat, but they're not really ever at a no heat unless you have a really big brooder and the lamp all the way on one side and then get away. But we found that the heat plate works a lot better for us and our setup and what we like. Since it's inside our house, we really don't want to have a fire risk, and also really like the naturalness of the chicks being able to go in and out as they please. So those are food, water, heat, and then the last thing you're going to need is some sort of bedding. What we have right here, since they're going to be young, 1 day, 2 day old when they get here, this is a puppy pad. This is what we like to use for the first week or so. Some people use paper towels, puppy pads, whatever. You can even just go with the bedding from the beginning. We just like this because it gives them a nice grip, and it's a flat surface with a grip so that they don't have to work so hard, because got those nice, fresh, young legs trying to figure out the world. So it's a little harder if you put in some layers of pine shavings, hemp bedding, whatever you're going to use. It's a little harder for them to walk around. So we like to put this in here for the first week. It works really nice to absorb the poop, keeps it nice and clean. You can always just pull out the pads, put in new ones whenever you need to, but it allows the chicks to gain the strength to be able to walk around, get used to it before we put the bedding in here. Now, I kind of mentioned it. There's a couple different types of bedding. Whatever you're going to use, just research exactly what you need, how often you're going to need to change it, things like that, because you can use like pine shavings, and then there's fine shavings versus the bigger size shavings, depending on what you like. There's hemp bedding, which we've used a couple times. We like it. It was really absorbent. It's a little dusty. I mean, it's less dusty than the pine, but still dusty. And then there's different things like you can use sand, which we don't use, but what we're going to try out this year is coffee bedding. We've heard lots of good things, so we're going to be able to trial run. So we're switching from the hemp to the coffee, see how we like it. It's supposed to smell nice, it's supposed to be nice and easy to scoop out and clean. So we'll have to see there. And then some other ones, there's like straw or things like that. But whatever it is, you need a nice absorbent material for the chicks to poop on and absorb it so that you don't have to clean every 2 seconds. Let it soak up, and then you can clean it out every week, 2 weeks, 4 weeks, depending on how much you add bedding in there, and turn it into nice compost. So as a recap, only things you're going to need is a physical structure. To whatever environment you're in is going to depend. Like we're in our house, so we make it a little secure for the cats, but if we didn't have cats, could be as simple as a box. Physical structure, chick food, water, heat of some sort, and some sort of bedding. So it's pretty simple, pretty easy. You'll find that chicks are pretty easy to raise from start to finish. So if you have any questions, drop them below. But thanks for watching. And until next time, stay perfect.